Is it a total disaster for the legacy of a Super Bowl hero, or is the torch finally being passed to a new superstar? Philadelphia just did the unthinkable and handed out Nick Foles' legendary number 9 jersey for the first time since that magical night in Minneapolis. The iconic digits that were unofficially retired for years are back on the grass, and the rookie wearing them is already causing a frenzy at the NovaCare Complex. If this kid doesn't live up to the hype, it's going to be a betrayal of the highest order in the eyes of Eagles fans everywhere. Before we dive into this roster madness, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest NFL updates on the planet. The city of Philadelphia is currently the center of the sporting universe. We are living through a sports renaissance that feels like a masterclass in civic pride. Just look at the last 48 hours. The Flyers absolutely dismantled the Penguins in Game 6 to keep their season alive. The Phillies are walking off games like it's a hobby, and the Sixers just forced a winner-take-all Game 7 against the Celtics behind a monstrous performance from their stars. The energy is insane, but while the rest of the city is focused on the court and the rink, our eyes are locked on the turf in South Philadelphia. Rookie minicamp has officially ignited, and the roster moves coming out of the building are nothing short of a whirlwind. But let's get back to that jersey situation. Nick Foles is a straight-up legend. For years, no one touched the number 9. It was a holy relic, but the drought is over. Makai Lemon, the playmaking receiver out of USC, is officially rocking the 9. It takes a massive amount of confidence to step into those shoes, but Lemon has that undeniable swag. He isn't your typical lanky receiver. He's built like a tank, just under 200 pounds of pure muscle with a low center of gravity that makes him a nightmare to bring down after the catch. He spent the offseason training with Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith, and clearly, that tutelage is paying off. He tracks the ball over his shoulder like a seasoned pro. But wait until you hear about the massive veteran names the front office just brought in for a surprise tryout that could change the entire dynamic of the backfield. Howie Roseman is never content with just the draft picks. He is a shark in the water, and right now, he's hunting for veteran depth that can push this team over the edge. The Eagles just hosted a tryout for 2 massive names at running back, Khalil Herbert and Elijah Mitchell. Think about the implications here. Mitchell was a revelation for the Niners, putting up insane numbers as a rookie before the injury bug started to bite. Herbert has been a steady, explosive force for years. Bringing these guys in for a look tells you one thing. This team is not satisfied with good enough. They want a backfield that can grind teams into the dirt. And then there's the offensive line. The team brought in Michael Jordan, no, not the GOAT, but the 6'6" powerhouse guard from the Buccaneers. This guy has logged over 3,000 snaps in the NFL. He's a veteran who knows the grind, and he has a direct connection to the new coaching staff. With Landon Dickerson dealing with some lingering issues from last year, adding a veteran who can step in and start 9 games without breaking a sweat is a masterclass in roster management. Who do you think is the biggest threat to an Eagles division title right now? Drop a name in the comments and tell me if you think the Giants or Cowboys even have a prayer this year. While the veterans are interesting, the most fascinating project in the entire league is officially on the field, and his physical testing numbers are actually scary. Enter Uar Bernard. This man is a 306-pound defensive tackle for Nigeria who has never, and I mean literally never, played a single snap of organized football in his life. He was discovered through the International Pathway Program, the same pipeline that gave us Jordan Mailata. Bernard is a one-of-one athlete. At 300-plus pounds, he ran a 4.63 40-yard dash. That is physically impossible for most humans. He's got a 39-inch vertical. He's a freak of nature. Watching him at minicamp is a trip. He's so raw that he actually needed help tightening his helmet because he didn't know how it worked. But don't let the lack of experience fool you. When he gets his hands on people, it's over. The Eagles are going to redshirt him this year, but mark my words, in 2 years, this guy is going to be the most feared interior rusher in the NFC. Then we have the quarterback battle. Cole Payton, the 5th-round pick out of North Dakota State, is already making waves. There's a lot of talk about his loopy throwing motion during the draft process, but seeing him in person, the zip on the ball is undeniable. He's an ox, a dual-threat monster who can drive the ball from the opposite hash to the sideline with ease. He's working hand-in-hand with the new offensive coordinator, and the chemistry is already building. But the most emotional story at camp has to be Luke Akers. If that name sounds familiar, it's because his father, David Akers, is the greatest kicker in the history of the franchise. Seeing the Akers name back on a midnight green jersey just feels right. He's trying out as a punter, and while Jake Elliott has the kicking job locked down, the battle for the punting spot is wide open. Could we see a second-generation Akers pinning teams deep in the playoffs? It's a Hollywood script in the making. The team also officially signed a wave of UDFAs that could be the sneaky stars of this class. Keep an eye on Deontay Lawson, the linebacker from Alabama. This guy was a tackling machine for the Crimson Tide, and he's got the pedigree to make this 53-man roster on day one. And don't forget Rocco Underwood, the long snapper. Why is he important? Because before he signed, the Eagles literally didn't have a long snapper on the roster. He might have the most job security of anyone in the building right now. As the sun sets over the training center, the message is clear. The Eagles are reloading. They aren't just looking for players. They're looking for birds. They want guys with the grit and the swagger that defines this city. From Makai Lemon's jersey choice to Uar Bernard's raw power, the foundation of the 2026 season is being poured right now. But the real drama is just beginning. As minicamp wraps up, the coaching staff has to make some brutal decisions. Who stays? Who goes? The competition is so fierce that even high-profile draft picks aren't safe. The energy is high. The stakes are higher. And the road to the Super Bowl starts with these grueling May sessions under the bright blue Philly skies. Stay tuned, because I'm doing a deep dive into the winners and losers of this week's action in our next episode. You won't believe which veteran tryout player is already outperforming the rookies and might have just earned himself a permanent spot in the locker room. It's an insane time to be a fan, and we're just getting started. Go Birds!